What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Dylan. You're watching West Farm Garage. Been a little bit, but I'm back. Got a couple new items that we're gonna be working on. Y'all seem to like the last Will It Run video that I made, so we're gonna make another one. We got this Kubota lawn tractor right here. It is pretty old. It's an older model Kubota, but we're gonna see if we can get it running. First off, it needs a battery. I went and picked up a battery for it already, so we got to get that thrown in there. And the owner told me that the gas was like old, but I mean, I'm smelling that gas and it smells decent. I mean, it's maybe not brand new, but it'll run off of it. So we're gonna go grab this battery, throw it in there, and we're gonna see if we can get this thing fired up, because I really do not feel like dragging it all the way to the shop and then having to push it in. Okay, I got the battery put on. The nuts are just hand tight because I forgot to bring a wrench. But we're gonna see if this puppy will fire up. We got lights. That's a good sign. Choke right there. Yeah. Oh my God. Woo! It is roasting a belt. Well, I guess we're gonna have to drag it over there with the four-wheeler, because I can't get it running like that. Well, I can't move it if the belt isn't doing anything. So I wonder if the hydro was locked up. That honestly could be it. This hydro could be completely locked up. I wasn't even thinking about that. No, hydro moved. There's just not a whole lot of tension on this belt. Huh. Like none at all, actually. There's a tensioner spring that's supposed to go on that. Huh. Well, we're gonna get it drug over there and we're gonna see. Okay, so we got it in here. Now we gotta figure out why it's absolutely roasting the drive belt. Okay, so I did a little bit of digging, and this belt, kind of hard to see, but it's right. I'll put a arrow on the screen. Oh man, y'all cannot see anything. Right there. Right where I'm shining that light, there's a belt right there. That's the drive belt. And it was not on the pulley. It was positioned below the pulley. Try to zoom in so you might be able to see. So you see, right where that bare metal is right there, that's where the pulley was, and that's where the belt was, I'm sorry. And the belt needed to be on this pulley, which is right there. That's the belt. That's where the belt was, right here at the corner of the light. That's where the belt was. This is where the belt needed to be, which is where I've got it now. And I did that by just coming under here, and here's the belt tensioner. Oh, here, let me zoom you guys back out. Here's the belt tensioner right here, and it's spring loaded right there on that spring. So what I did was I took a ratchet strap and I ratcheted it right around here. And then I ratcheted it to the deck right there. And then I pulled the tensioner over. That gave me some slack in the drive belt. So then I was able to pop the belt back on back there. So now we're gonna get on it and see if we still have all that belt squeal. Very noisy, but that did it. So now we can just go along with our rest of our service. We got to sharpen the blades, and we also have to change the oil, all that good stuff, but it is now done. That was honestly a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I was really expecting to have to like replace something, or the hydro was going to be locked up or something like that, but we lucked out on this one. So I'm gonna go home because I'm out of time for the day already. I spent most of the day cleaning my shop. If you couldn't tell, all my benches are now clean and everything. So I'm gonna go home and I will pick you guys back up next week and we'll continue working on this. Okay. As you guys saw, we got it running in the last little clip that you just seen. It's the next week now. Now we're gonna work on servicing the lawnmower. We're going to sharpen the blades, change the oil, and check the air filter as well. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the blades since I've already got it up on the ramp. Make it a little bit easier on myself. That makes it a lot easier to get under there. I wish I had a lift for lawnmowers, but of course I don't. So I literally just jack up the front of the deck with my floor jack once it's up on the ramps, and then that gives me very, very good access under there to get those blades off. So I'm gonna see what size do I need here. Oh, that's a very small nut. Good God. It's a 13/16 or maybe maybe a 7/8. Not very big. Also very rusty. This lawnmower's been sitting a while. Oh, Lord have mercy. So we're gonna smack these with some WD-40. It's a 3/4. I was wrong. There we go. I love this big impact. It's kind of from Walmart. The Hyper Tough, the high torque impact. This thing's a beast. I haven't seen a nut that this thing can't break loose. Blade. Make sure you hang onto those washers. I'll need those. Go ahead and smack off this other one. Ugh. That's gonna be kind of hard to do. It is a little dangerous crawling up under here, so make sure you have a very good floor jack. I recommend also getting some jack stands, but we're balling on a budget here. Okay, got 2 blades off. we can come over here. Bring you guys up here to the vise. Got those two blades. Now, I'm gonna work on sharpening them. Wrench it down my vise so it doesn't go anywhere. Okay. I'll set you up here. You might see something a little bit better. There we go. Okay. Now I just take my angle grinder and I go across the lip of the blade. And then once I run a good pass across the top of the blade, then I go on the underside, I make a few just quick little passes. I like to keep that angle on the underpass very up this way, running the grinder that way it really creates a fine edge at the tip. And yeah, I don't know if you can hear how sharp that is. I mean, that would cut someone. That would cut you if you weren't paying attention, so that's a good blade. Now I'm just gonna repeat this process for the other blades. Now you know how I sharpen them. All right, and once I've got my blades sharp, I got this little contraption right here that weighs the blade on either side. And if it tilts to one side, you know you gotta take some more material off. And that looks pretty dang good. That is not very tilting much of either way. So this is an even blade. This one can go back on the mower. All right, we're going in, weighing the second blade. Tipping a little bit to the right side. I don't know how well y'all can see that. It's tipping just a hair to the right. So we're gonna take a little bit more off of that. All right, taking more material off that right side. Now it's not tipping near as bad, so I say we call that a win. Show you guys my edges right here. So very, very nice, clean edge right here. And then this is the edge where I go under that sharp angle on the back side and really just gives it that nice, good razor edge. That'll cut good for quite a while. Yeah, so I'm gonna throw this one back on the mower. All right, got the third blade. It's nice and sharpened, so we're gonna throw it back on now. Also, forgot to mention that when I do this, I do leave at least one of the ramps under there, because obviously I don't have much room under there to impact if I have this ramp here. So I try to stick to one side, and then so when you saw I pulled this ramp out, did these two blades, did this blade and the middle blade. Then when I got those done, I put this ramp back. That way, at least if something happens to the jack and the jack does fail, you know, I at least have something that's gonna stop this from coming down on the way. And then I always leave the parking brake on when I do this as well. So I at least try to be as safe as possible, and I recommend you do the same. Like I said, don't do anything that I do, okay? I am just a small shop, okay? I'm not regulated by OSHA or anything, so just don't do what I do, okay? Get jack stands, do it correctly. So I'm gonna throw this blade on real quick. And also one thing I do want to mention is that a lot of people like to, I've had comments on previous lawnmower videos in the past where I've been told that I don't sharpen my blades correctly. Well, I don't care, okay? I've seen the best result out of sharpening the blades just like the way I do right now, and I've had absolutely zero issues out of the blades. They last pretty much an entire season on one sharpen, so yeah, I don't really care what you have to say. But anyway, I'm gonna throw this blade on real quick, and then we're gonna get to the rest of the service. All right. All three blades are put back on, and they are nice and sharp. Look at that clearance gap in between these two blades. That's insane. Look at that. That is like insane. That's like a 2/4 worth of clearance in between those blades. That's wild. All right, now we got that taken care of. We can get this put back down on the ground. We can work on the oil change and the air filter. Let it warm up outside. This is very loud. It's fully back here. That is insanely loud. I might have to take that back apart and look at those bearings in there. All right, let it run for a minute. So now we're gonna work on draining out this oil. So let's see here. Try to find where the oil drain is on this guy. Usually on these mowers, it's like a tube. Ah, right here, there's the oil drain. Of course, it's got to be right there. Oh my God, and the filler neck's right there too. Okay, well, looks like we might have a little bit of an oil leak right there coming off of that seal. Oh, well, whatever. So I guess we're, man, that is a lot of oil too, isn't it? Yeah, you know, I never did actually check the oil in this thing. Might have been my mistake. I mean, that is a lot of drip. Look at all that in there. See all that yellow residue right there? That's all oil. And it's leaking pretty good too, off of that thermostat. Ooh, yeah, that's a lot of oil. That is leaking bad. Honestly, I wonder if I start it back up, we can watch it leak. That's a steady drip. I'm glad I found that. I wonder maybe if it's just not tight. Let me see if I can tighten it down some. Let's see. It's pretty well tight. Huh. Looks like we may have to change the thermostat, or an oil thermostat, I mean. Yeah, that is leaking pretty good. Guess from years of sitting, started to dry rot out that seal, so guess we got more to do than I thought. I guess the customer's getting this one back today. All right, guys, here's what we got going on. So, right here in my hand, I have the oil pressure switch, okay? And it is leaking. I'm going to demonstrate this for you guys. I've got some oil here in a syringe. I'm just going to butt the end of this up against it and push down. And you can watch right there. See that oil spooling out? So that's where it's leaking. It's leaking around this seal right here. And I'm having trouble finding this part. Just going to be honest. I cannot seem to find it anywhere. It is discontinued from Kubota, so I have to go with an aftermarket option if I were to buy it online. But I can't even find the Kubota part number online. I can find other pressure switches that look similar to this one online, but I cannot find the actual Kubota aftermarket replacement part number. So that is the struggle that I'm having currently. So I guess I am going to try and see if I can put some Right Stuff silicone on the edge of this. See if I can get it to seal up, because it's literally just leaking around this brass right here. It's leaking right in there. Take this out of the way so it stops focusing on that. It's leaking in this brass, around this brass right here, and that's why kind of thinking silicone might fix it, but at the same time I also don't know. So I'm gonna see if I can get this thing siliconed up, let it dry, and then see if it fixes the leak. Okay, I got the air filter blown out, so it honestly wasn't even that bad. So I got the air filter done already. It just sits under that compartment right there. But we got this pressure switch siliconed up right there. I got it put back in and everything. So I'm gonna let that silicone dry for a little bit longer, and then we'll start it up and see if we still have an oil leak. So now what I'm gonna do, all I've really got left is I've got to grease everything, which I think Kubota did a pretty good job with how they did these spindles, because this is so much easier. I mean, look at that. They just popped that right off. Yeah, Kubota did a very good job with that. So I can just go through, grease all these spindles, and then I will see what I can do from there. So maybe start this thing back up and see if we still got an oil leak. But grease here, got a grease on the grease zerk on the front. I'm sure the wheel hub has a grease zerk. All these spindles have a grease zerk. I've seen a bunch of grease zerks on this one. I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't expecting there to be as many grease zerks as there is. So, but I'm gonna get all this stuff greased, and then I will pick you guys back up when I'm restarting this. Okay, got all the deck and spindles and stuff greased up. So now we've got this guy, the oil pressure switch. I think our silicone is pretty well dry. So we're gonna see if we can start it up and have a leak or not. Come on now. Still leaking. So I'm going to have to see if I can find one online, because I don't have much other choice. All right guys, quick little update. Local dealer in my area had the pressure switch in stock, so I'm gonna go drive and get it real quick, so that way I can get this lawnmower back to the customer and make the customer happy. So that's what we're gonna do. What's up guys, Editor Dylan here. Little side note that I forgot to mention when I was editing the video behind me you're watching right now. So when I went to go get that part for the mower, the oil pressure switch, I forgot to mention that I wasn't getting it from Kubota. I was getting it from a local just lawn and garden dealer, because after doing some research, I realized that the engine on this mower was not made by Kubota. It was actually a Kawasaki FD590. So it was actually a Kawasaki pressure switch that I was looking for. Kubota sold the part on their website, but it said discontinued on it. But then I was able to find the part number through Kawasaki, and I was able to find the part at a local parts dealer. So that's why I was able to actually find the part new OEM and not an aftermarket replacement. So just thought I'd share that information. I hate driving in the rain. Roads are flooding, guys. Don't know if I'm gonna make it back. All right, guys. Got the new part right here. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get this thing slapped in, so that way this thing can be done. Oh yeah. Full. Take this. On there. There we go. Okay, now we'll take, where's the 9mm? Right here. That's actually smaller. So, it's a 7mm nut, that's weird. Come on. Okay. Let's fire up. Let's see if we still have an oil leak. No oil leak. Tis fixed. Alright, so now we can open up these doors and we can get this thing out of here. Alright guys, we're going to take this thing out for a little spin. light came on. All right. Well, she's done. Still a little noisy on the rear end, but I think that might just be normal, to be honest with you. A lot of these tractor style mowers are very noisy. But so now I gotta work on this guy. But this one's just a service. I mean, it's not nothing special, so I'm not gonna fool with it on the video. But we did get the one that was been sitting for 3 years. I think the owner says sitting for 3 years. Runs and rides, cuts pretty dang good too. Those strips look dang nice. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to stay tuned for the next week's video, if there's one that comes out. I'm just gonna be honest. Thank you guys so much for watching. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.